because I don't hear myself. Now I should be coming through. There we go. All right, awesome. Okay, so I can turn this down at least so I can hear myself. So that's not so loud there. There we go. All right, all right. So hello everyone. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. Come on in. I hope you have your tea or you're laying down in bed with a good book and have me on in the background or whatever you're doing. If you are someone who is returning, you're a real one. Thanks for coming back. And thanks for joining me for this pick-up pile that I've kind of been feeling to do because I haven't been called to really do a celebrity reading today. So thanks for joining me. I know this is something kind of outside of my norm, but I have done these before. So of course you see the thumbnail, you see the title, you know, today I'm going to be doing a general reading. And if you are someone who is new to pick-up piles or general readings, let me give you a few things to keep in mind. As you can see here, I have 4 piles that I am going to do today. You can pick them based on the cards or the decks, whatever calls to you. I do have some crystals. If you're a crystal girly, you can pick something from there. I would do those who have like auditory sensories, but I didn't really plan this out all the way, so I didn't have something slated and ready to go. Maybe that'll be another time. So for now, we just are picking between cards and the crystals, which I will add onto the piles later. Again, pick a pile or a deck or a card, whatever it may be that calls to you, whether you like the designs, you like the crystal, or you really are feeling pulled to something. If you resonate with more than one pile, that's fine. Something obviously is in that pile that you need to hear. As you can see, I only have one card. Ooh, sorry. I only have one card here for each pile. So I am going to go through with each pile and actually pull tarot cards and oracle cards for what's really going on with you. And you just take the message. As you can see in the title, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Because this is a general reading, there may be some things that I will be picking up on that may not exactly pertain to you, but it may pertain to someone else who is going to be watching this video, and it may help them. They may need to hear that message. So again, if it apply, if it don't apply, let it fly. Right, first and foremost. So that's pretty much the breakdown of the rules for pick-a-pile readings or a general reading, just so you kind of know. Also, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to get throughout this reading, because I'm doing this live, it's not like I'm doing this as a VOD or as a VOD. This take whatever messages or interpretations, the feelings, my personal opinions, do not take them to heart. Do not use them as your end all be all, especially if it comes, if anything, medical, professional, financial, any of those things, if they come up, spiritual. This is simply to be used as the guide to let you know, like, hey, you are in alignment or you are in misalignment, and how you can adjust moving forward. I am not some kind of spiritual advisor or some kind of like social worker or something, so I cannot give you counsel. Okay, essentially I can't do that because I don't know you personally, because again, this is a general reading, so I cannot give you very heart-to-heart counsel. I'm probably not the one to give it to you either. So yes, I'm simply just someone to kind of like help point you in the right direction. Hopefully I'm the voice that's going to help like something click or something kind of like keep reoccurring to you to where you finally listen, because it's like, okay, this girl don't know me from anything and she's even saying this in this reading. So it's just something to kind of like alert you so you pay attention. But before I get started, the other notes that I have to make is, please always, 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 I encourage you to always utilize your higher self, to utilize your power of discernment. Because again, this is a general reading. There are some things that will not apply for you. Let that fly, okay? So that is all of my rules and regulations for this as I go into this reading. As always, as I say in my celebrity readings, there are, you know, some things that I may mistranslate or misinterpret. So again, that leaves room for your power of discernment, your higher self, to kind of step in and be like, hey, Shorty was kind of on the right spot there, but this is exactly what it is. This is more so what we're looking for here. Okay, please keep in mind that all statements made in this video are alleged for entertainment purposes only, because I don't need somebody out here on the internet that I don't even know about trying to come after me because of something I stated and it hit a little too close to home for you. Okay, I just want to cover myself before getting started. So now that I have all of that out of the way, we are going to focus on the 4 piles. As you can see here, I have them laid out as pile 1, which is the Sufi Tarot. Pile 2, which is the Intuitive Heart Tarot. We have pile 3, which is the Tarot of Dreams. And then we have pile 4, the Divine Tarot here. So for those of you who like crystals, we are going with the citrine. Hold on, sorry here. We are going with the citrine. So you can kind of see that here. We are going with the citrine crystal for the Sufi Tarot. Okay, and if you don't know what the crystals are, you kind of want some explanation. Citrine, oh, I bumped the crap out this table. The citrine to me is usually like the sun crystal. It's usually like the sun gem for me. It is something that needs to be highlighted. Think of like Leo energy, fiery energy. That's kind of like what the citrine gives me. So yes, you can pick citrine or the Sufi Tarot for pile 1 if that resonates for you. For the Intuitive Heart Tarot, of course, we had to go with the pink quartz. It doesn't look really pink on here. The color is a little off, but this is a pink quartz. This is a very light pink quartz, but nonetheless pink quartz. And the reason why I say, of course, if you are a crystal girly, you will understand why I did this. With this being the Intuitive Heart Tarot along with the pink quartz usually deals with emotions of love, of romance, of feeling, kind of tapping into that heart chakra there, all of that. Some people would even say sacral chakra. So yes, I put the pink quartz with the Intuitive Heart Tarot for pile 2. For pile 3, I have a bit of an unusual crystal. Most people I seem to talk to about this crystal don't seem to know about it, but if you're a crystal girly, you probably definitely heard about this before. This is called an Apache's Tear. Okay, so you can see that there. It looks like an obsidian or black tourmaline if you're somebody who has done with that, but that is called an Apache's Tear. And the Apache's Tear usually deal with if you're working through heavy emotions, but you aren't quite ready to kind of tackle them because they bring up a lot of grief, a lot of depressive feelings, a lot of sadness, etc. The Apache's Tears kind of help you work through tough emotions. So I really do like that crystal. And then finally, with the Divine Tarot, okay, we have the clear quartz this time. So you can see that. Yep, there we go, camera. Thank you for focusing. So we have the clear quartz for the Divine Tarot. And the clear quartz is exactly like what it sounds like. It's helping you see things clearly. It's helping knock the dust off of some things. It's helping you kind of hone in and tunnel in on what you really need to be observing and paying attention to. So that is what the clear quartz kind of deals with. Those are the kind of like thoughts and feelings I get when I see the clear quartz. Sometimes I also think of cleansing. I like to kind of wind this over sometimes of my body just to kind of like clear away some things if I feel kind of stuck or stagnant. The clear quartz is wonderful for that. So I'll give you a second to kind of pick your pile and see which one kind of resonates for you. And then I am going to start off with pile 1. Actually, I'm going to get this deck ready. So I'm going to use the same oracle cards for each pile, but I'm going to use a different tarot deck for each pile. Of course, I'm going to use the corresponding decks to go with the pile that you picked. Okay. So I am just going to write something down. Ooh, we are doing, so for pile 1, we are moving on. Okay. Okay, I have Cleo Solo on my mind right now. If you all don't know who that is, she is a singer, and her song, Know That You Are Loved is coming to mind. I was listening to it earlier. It doesn't really have to do with anything with the piles. It's just something that's been on my mind because I was listening to it earlier. So yeah, she's like on my mind heavy right now. So for those of you who chose pile 1, Centrine, the Sufi Tarot. Let's see what this card is. Oh, so the 5 of Cups is what comes out first. So the 5 of Cups typically to me is usually kind of like, to me it's more of like getting over a heartbreak card. I know most people would say this, the 3 of Swords or the 4 of Swords, but to me the 5 of Cups is kind of like getting over a heartbreak. It's getting over some kind of attachment or outcome that you were really hoping for, that you really want. But in the midst of you kind of like getting over that or going through the turmoil, the heartbreak, the loss of whatever it was that you were trying to obtain or that you wanted, you are missing out that there is still some things good. There are still some things great that is happening for you. You're too busy crying over the spilled milk when you still have the whole cow in the background and you can go get some more. But you're focused on the spilled milk. So let's see if we can get some more clarification here. Even if you don't love yourself. Okay, Cleo, get out my mind. I'm gonna have to turn this down because this is making my card sound extra. It's making my card sound extra loud as it's hitting the table. Like, geez. Oh, wow. I had a couple that stuck up on my curtain. Okay, let's see. Why is this file here? Those who chose pile 1 in the situation. Oh, I had a card that flipped over in here. Where is it? I thought I'd seen it. Yep, here we go. Is that another 5? No, that's the 8s. 8 of Swords. Was it anything else? Okay. So we have the 8 of Swords. So this feels like something you couldn't avoid, because usually when I see it in reverse, I kind of feels like this is something that was pushed upon you, and you kind of don't know how to figure your way out of it, because it's not a trap of your own making. It's not something that is in your mind. And these are all kind of dark cards. So I see why you have the citrine here. There is some light that needs to be shined on something. To me, this is starting to feel like there's some secrecy or like some underhandedness that's going on in the background that you aren't quite aware of. You may have an inkling about it, but you aren't quite aware of it, or you don't know how to deal with it if you do know about it. Yep, and then we have the 3 of Coins here in reverse. So again, the 3 of Coins can sometimes deal with partnerships, but usually because it is with the coins here, if it's more so probably dealing with something with business or a partnership, maybe a contract or something of some sort that's coming up here with the 3 of Coins. It sounds like a deal that you probably don't need to be stepping into. And if this resonates with somebody, I just feel like I have to say this. It seems like you kind of took yourself out of the pot just to get into the frying pan. In order to avoid one bad situation from happening or trying to run away from another bad situation, you found yourself being preyed on by somebody else who's probably just as worse, if not, who is probably just as bad, if not worse. Yes, English. Okay, so I have 2 more cards here that, oh, I thought it was 2. I'm just going to note these because this fell on my arm, but this did come out, so we're going to keep that here. But I want to note these 3 cards that fell out. So the card that's sticking here on the table, we have the Ten of Swords, and usually that speaks to, this sounds like something that needs to end. Because it is in the upright, it makes me a bit more hopeful that this is something that needs to end. This is something that you need to let go of. You need to stop being married to it. You need to stop trying to hold on to it. You need to stop trying to make it work. This is calamity if you keep trying to stay in this situation at this point. This is a hurtful, very despairing ending, but an ending that needed to happen nonetheless, whatever this situation is. And I will also note, you do have the Two of Staffs in reverse here, and this usually speaks to something dealing with passion. So there's something here where it feels like you're choosing between your heart and your head. And it feels like, I don't know, whatever choice you made, whether it was following your head or your heart, or you thought you was following one, but you still ended up being a fool in this situation. It was a tough decision and you made the wrong one. Then we have the Star here, and the Star doesn't always have to mean something with like celebrity or you kind of being known or putting yourself out there. It could be if you are someone who needs to, you know, open your mouth, because closed mouths don't get fed. But sometimes a Star card can also mean things of like, there's still hope, because usually if it's in reverse for me, it means like hopelessness. There's a lack of like imagination or dreaming coming true, dreams happening, wishes happening, etc. But this is coming up in the upright, so it seems like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, essentially. Let me move this up again. Let me move this up and put these here so I can note these cards. And then the last card is the Dervish, and this is the Hermit card, if I'm not mistaken. I need the book to make sure, because this is the Sufi Tarot, so it's in like a lot of the, yep, the Hermit. I knew it. Okay. So the Dervish is the Hermit card. So this is talking about, okay, again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I feel like this pile is for someone who has a hard time being alone, or who may deal with issues of abandonment, or someone who always feels like an outsider. Maybe you are somebody who's like an Aquarius. Maybe you're somebody who's hard to love. Sorry, Virgos, Scorpios. You know, you kind of like a porcupine. It's kind of hard for people to kind of get close to you because you're kind of closed off, whether it's out of habit or learned behavior because you've been hurt before, etc., etc. This kind of feels like this is that kind of energy, like back off. You have a barrier around you at this point, and it's kind of just making things more difficult for you than it needs to be. I just want to note those, but we're going to put that to the side. And I also love to read the cards from the bottom. Yeah, look, I said something about it feels like you're getting over a heartbreak. You have the Three of Swords here, and then you have the Malika of Cups. So there's a lot of heavy emotions that you're working through and that you're dealing with, Pile One, and it just feels like you're kind of like in a very depressive state, unfortunately. And yeah, look, Ten of Cups. You have the Ten of Cups, the Malika of Cups, and the Three of Swords coming up underneath. You are dealing with some very heavy losses, heartbreak. Maybe you recently did lose someone, or maybe you recently are going through a breakup, or maybe there is a thing where you kind of like lost a job. Something really destabilized you right now, and you're kind of suffering under the weight of it. But it's, I will say again, going back to this Ten of Swords and the Star card that you had, it feels like it was I don't want to say necessary, because if it is something where you lost someone or anything like that, you don't want to hear that. But it just kind of feels like it's maybe something that was more inevitable, like it was going to happen, or it needed to happen in order for you to kind of like progress along in life. Um, let's see here. We're gonna look a bit closer into what is the heaviness that you're dealing with here. Okay. Let's see here. We have Astaroth. This is fanatical belief in hypocrisy. Ooh, you were led to believe one thing when it's really another. Okay. And lastly, fruitless labor is the other card that's coming out here. Okay, so for some of you, I'm getting a message of like, you feel like you've poured your all, you've given your all, you've done a lot into a particular person or a particular job or in a particular endeavor, and you feel like you have nothing to show for it. Like it's all coming up empty. I can see this being something with somebody who kind of like was a caretaker for someone, or someone who has been working at a job, and now suddenly you find out the rug is being pulled out from underneath you. They're getting ready to close like your whole department down or something, even though you recently talked to HR and they were just like, yeah, everything's fine, just hire somebody else. And now you've hired somebody who's taking over your job or something like that. Like, this is kind of giving that feeling. And so it's kind of like you're driven on the point to where you are going to become, because with this fanatical belief and hypocrisy card here with Astaroth, it kind of feels like you're on the verge of becoming, I don't want to say bitter, but what's the word? Basically, like, you're just like not seeing any of the good that came out of this, like what you learned, the friendships you made, the relationships, the experience, etc., etc., or that, you really didn't want to be in this job in the first place, and now you're not there. You've been kind of like manifesting you not being there, and now it's happened, but because it didn't happen in the way or in the time that you wanted, now you want to kind of like bitch him on about it. And it's like, well, we answered what you wanted. We made the work for you. We pushed you out. Let's see here. What else we gonna get here? So let's get some solutions here for you all. For those who chose Power One, those of you who are dealing with some kind of heartbreak, some kind of setback here, some kind of loneliness. I feel like I'm picking up on all of those. So we have the key to intimacy, and this reads, intimate love is a core need to be met in a relationship to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. So I was just talking about how it feels like some of you may have come out of a recent breakup, and I feel like that is definitely for you all. On the flip side, of those of you who are kind of like, going through some sort of setback, whether it's financially, whether it's with your family, or whatever the case may be, it could be something here where the key to intimacy, the reason why this card is coming up for you, is because you have to pour back into yourself now. You've poured into everyone else around you. You've poured into this job. You poured into your husband. You poured into your kids. You poured into your friends. You've poured into your co-workers, etc., etc., etc. But when is it time for you? Like, step into it and start pouring into yourself. Get back in tune with yourself. Like, you probably don't even know there's some health issues going on with you right now. You probably don't even notice that your gait has changed. You probably don't even notice that, I don't know, like, people see your face differently because the wear and tear, the worry, the hurt, the the amount of oppression you've put on yourself is showing up on your face and you don't even know it yet. Like you haven't even noticed that when it changed, how it changed, or whatever the case may be. And now it's time for you to kind of like tap back in, get more in tune with you here. Okay, and then the last two cards here that we're getting for the Lantern Oracle, we have, oh, look at that. Inner integration. I was just talking about getting into alignment with yourself here. And this talks of peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with taming and tempering effects life has on us. So to me, it just seems like you have been letting life happen to you, and you have not been in the driver's seat actually living in the moment and the changes and the happenings that's been going on. You've kind of just let life happen and you have been sitting in the passenger seat, maybe taking in the scenery, but you haven't really been participating or really being aware of where life is taking you. You haven't really been aware during this road trip. You just kind of just letting your vessel go about and do whatever. And then the last one here is confusion. So some of you, I'm going to say right now, I feel like there is a career change that's supposed to be coming up for you, or maybe a shift in focus. At least there's something else that it's time for you to focus on, whether it's yourself, again, a new position, a new job, a new person. There's a change that's happening here, and maybe that's something else that you are resisting as well, because maybe it's something that's not easy for you to deal with. Like say for example, you are somebody who is very, like, you thrive in capitalism. I would just say this, for example, like you thrive in capitalism. You know how to make things work. You know how to be on social media. You know how to make friends with people, blah, 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 even if you don't really like them. But you know how to be chummy and cordial with people, whatever the case may be. But now it's saying, oh no, you are now being forced to actually be, I don't want to say self-sufficient, but more community oriented. And that's something you struggle with, because you're like, I know how to be in community when it's a business, when it's work. I don't know how to be in community with people when I actually have to, I don't know, hold somebody's hand during childbirth or just be there for my neighbor. Like, I report you to the city. I don't have to deal with this. You know, it kind of feels like there is an adjustment there with that, because you haven't really had to count on or lean on a community, but now you're kind of being called to do it. And that's a struggle. That's a hardship for you. But lastly, the card is confusion, and this deals with growth, hurts, heals, and harnesses a way through the uncertainty. And this card also comes up in reverse for you. So there's definitely some confusion, maybe a lack of direction, a lack of guidance, maybe feeling adrift right now in this moment, which is understandable. If all of this heartbreak, this separation, this loss, this kind of like tower moment that you're going through, it would be understandable that there is some confusion. There is a lack of feeling stable, of feeling like the world has kind of been pulled from underneath you, have shifted, and you're now trying to course correct or find your balance again. It's all understandable. And then that was a bad little shuffle there. Let's get into any lasting messages that I can give you here. We're not counting that one. If it comes back out, then great, but I'm not counting that one right now. Okay, first, oh, Peridot it is. And I think it's only right. We started with crystals, we end with crystals. So you have the Peridot, and this deals with the Nine of Hearts. So kind of like, yes, wish fulfillment, happiness, joy, things. I almost want to say like euphoria, things happening, fulfilling your heart's greatest desires. It's time to focus on that. It's time to do that. You also have the Tiger's Eye, and the Tiger's Eye to me usually means more so along the lines of what I got with clear quartz, clarification, leaning more so into your higher self or your intuitive self and letting that lead you, and not just being all mind, being all mental, being all physical, being very 3D. It's like, nope, get out of that. Let's step into the 4D now. Let's move beyond what you are physically seeing. Let's see what you are, what your third eye is seeing, where your higher self is pointing you to. But it also says on this card, it says building courage and attracting wealth. For the last card, you have the King of Diamonds here. And so again, this is dealing with some kind of finance or money, maybe a partnership that needs to happen here with the King of Diamonds. You have the Ruby, which deals with wealth, wisdom, and success and love. And that's usually what I think of when I see the Ruby. I think of love, 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 very passionate, very fiery, very vibrant, very amorous kind of love going on here. Like you dang near have to kick this person off of you. So for some of you, there may be a thing here where you are trying to push away a certain person that you probably should be in partnership or collaboration with, or in, you know, in a relationship with, but you don't want to do that because maybe you feel like you aren't good enough, or you're not where you want to be. So you feel like you probably feel like you aren't worthy of this love. And it's like, but you are. So stop blocking your own blessings. Again, that's something I'm getting for some of you. Again, for some of you, is reading more of, there's been a loss with family, some kind of personal thing or something with work, and you having to kind of like find your way back. Find your way back. Okay, we're not getting into Beyonce, but yes, that's what I'm getting for you all, Pile 1. Again, you had the citrine, so maybe this is more so like me shining light, helping guide you through, maybe pointing some things out to you so you understand what's you need to be paying attention to, what healing process is going to look like. And it's probably going to be messy. It's not going to be, when has healing ever looked good? Whoever has told you that is crazy. But healing is messy, and then you come out on the other side. Okay, so let the cups fall where they may. Okay, pick that shit up, clean it up, and move on. Pick it up from there. But let this breakdown happen, because once you start rebuilding, it's going to be the best foundation you have. Is going to, you know, the rubble is going to be cleared away and things are going to be beautiful. So that's what I have for you all for Pile 1. Hopefully this reading helps you. I'm wishing for the best, praying for the best for you. And I hope you do find your way through this darkness and know that there is light at the underside of this. Okay, so that's your reading, Pile 1. I am going to move on to Pile 2. Now I got that song stuck in my head. I shouldn't have started singing it. Jeez. All right, so Pile 2. Yeah, that was the rose quartz here. So I'm going to move this all to the side so yours is here on the screen. Rose quartz, those of you who chose the intuitive hearts, I am going to write this down so we have this together. You all have the Two of Wands. And again, you got the pink quartz here, and I did it with the Intuitive Heart Tarot. And to me, usually this is very like heart, sacral chakra kind of energy. And with the Two of Wands being here, this is speaking to kind of like fire and desire. It is speaking to your passion. It is speaking to a decision that needs to be made, whether it is from, how can I say it? Like, whether it's something you think you want or something that you really need is what you have to choose from here. So you do have the Two of Wands, but let's shuffle these cards and see if we can get a bit more explanation on this here. Even if you don't love yourself. Let's get it. One more shuffle. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can hone in on what this situation is for you, Pile 2. Those who chose the rose quartz here. Can we get some? Okay, and we're going into the Three of Wands. This is you moving forward. You've picked a destination. Now, where are you going? Where are you headed? What's the reason behind you moving forward or feeling like you need to go in this way? And then we have the Queen of this coming up in reverse. If you're going to make a decision based on money, don't do it. Or superficial things. That's kind of like what the Queen of this gives me in reverse. Don't move superficial. Don't move on the physical. Don't move on what you think you should do. Move on what you need to do, what really calls to you. Let go of what you think is right and just do it because it calls to you again. And you have the Prince of this. And I'm going to tell you how I feel like this is very much a decision on just don't make it for material reasons or what you think you should do or what people told you should do, what would be the right direction. Follow your heart, because we have the Ace of Cups. Then we have the Prince of Wands in reverse, but don't make rash decisions. Prince of Wands is kind of like the second fastest knights to me. I mean, the second kind of like fastest card. The Prince of Wands here is like behind the Prince of Swords. It's like, slow your roll. Be chill. Don't let I want to say anger but don't let kind of like your emotions dictate how you're going to move about this, or just because you want to prove somebody wrong. I hear you, Aries. Okay. I know y'all. I see you, boo. And then we have the Temperance card here. So this to me is really like weigh your decisions, weigh the pros and cons. This is sometimes Temperance also can be like temperance. I think temper. I think addiction. Like, are you doing this for the high of it? Are you kind of just doing this to be like, I showed you I did that, like, and now you find yourself in a messed up situation? Sit your tail down. The Prince of Disc also, with it coming up reverse, to me really makes me feel like go back, think again, look at it closely. Is everything what it appears to be? Are you really choosing this for self, or are you choosing this because of external factors or external reasons? Look back at what you're doing. A lot of this just feels very materialistic. It feels very like showboaty. I don't know what this is, but it feels showboaty to me. It feels like do it for the gram type of energy. Do it for the vine. Do it to show off on TikTok. Do it to show off to your family. It's kind of giving high schoolers prom and you flying in on a plane for no reason, or rush week at in college. It's giving that kind of energy. It's giving stunting. What is it? Ooh. Okay, so I had a lot fall out here. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I'm going to say luau, lao, victory. Okay, let's push these up, so we have some room. Let's see what this card is. Excuse me. And then we have bail. See, I said something about anger. Don't let the anger be the basis of what you're doing. Don't let this like showboating, you trying to show out, you trying to stunt, be to your detriment or put you in a hole. And it could be this Queen of Disc and this Prince of Disc. Could be like the people you're trying to show off to, and it's like they really don't matter. You need to go back and reevaluate that decision here. It may feel like a victory. This is giving me more like false victory. It may feel like a victory in the moment, but it's really not. What does this say? Jealousy on the other side? Yeah. See that? It says jealousy. I wonder if there's a thing here for some of you all where people are envious of what you do or how you do it or how you make things look. Um, it's kind of giving like social media personality, but people hate watch you. If yeah, I would say that's kind of like the energy here. And that would make sense again with the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands being here, because the Two of Wands is sometimes I think of like pick your destination and move their cards. So maybe you're kind of like I don't know, a travel blogger or something. But that could be again, if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. But I can see that being part of the energy here. Okay, let's see how we can correct this. What's going on? And I will say, looking at this, be careful because this came up at the bottom for you. Black magic, Glacia Labolis. It's kind of giving evil eye energy. I do want to note we have misalignment here, which deals with miracles become normal once we face all of the aspects of our life in the same direction. All of your aspects of your life are not facing in the right direction. If you're somebody who likes to read the direction of how cards are going, notice how with this Two of Wands, it's looking back, it's looking to the past. But this Three of Wands is looking to the future, but the future is not looking good here with this in reverse. And I also want to mention too, with this Three of Wands, notice how it has these birds on here. And I usually think of birds as like messengers, but it could also be kind of like external or outside influences, external people, whatever the case may be. This kind of like feeding something to you, like, hey, you probably should do this. You should do this. I think you should do that. I really love what you're doing. And it's how can I explain this? Okay, I see it a lot of time in like C dramas, especially like when it's dealing with what they call them, like costume dramas. It's like dealing with their royal courts and stuff like that. I know there's sometimes a thing where they be like, you spoil the child so much to where they don't think something wrong or bad could happen to them. You spoil them to the point where they get puffed up and it's to their own detriment, where they eventually end up falling on the sword that you told them was dull. And so you kind of just puffed up their chest and they think they're okay. They're ready to move forward and sell off in the sunset, but you haven't quite prepared them for what's really going on, or you kind of like lied to them to make them think that they're bigger than what they are. It's kind of like you gave your child a participation trophy just because you realized that they were jealous of somebody who actually was the best player on the field. And so you give them a participation trophy hoping it's going to make up or, boost their confidence to where they'll do better next time. And it really just made them comfortable with doing the bare minimum and being rewarded for it. Yes, that's kind of like a better way I can explain it. Okay, and then we have melting mass. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. And to me, again, this kind of will lean into the social media personality, or I really wouldn't say even social media personality. I would say a lot of people, whether you're chronically online or not, there's usually a face, a side of you that nobody sees. It's probably a face or a side of you that you present and you go out here and you put it out to the public. It's kind of like your ascendant sign or whatever if you are into astrology, it's kind of like putting your ascendant sign out there and letting that lead and guide you. But then when you're back home, you're very much being your moon sign or something. You know what I'm saying? And, or in other words, for those of you who don't do astrology, there's the public you that you put out there that you're okay with people knowing or how you present yourself. But when you're at home, you are totally opposite of that person. You're like, I'm not bubbly, but when I'm out here, I act like I'm a extrovert. But when I'm home, I'm really isolated. I don't want to deal with nobody. I don't want nobody coming around. I'm me. I'm Mr. Scrooge. I just want to be up underneath the blankets with my popcorn watching TV. That's kind of what the melting mask gives me. Okay, I get 2 more cards here, Spirit, in regards to what they can do moving forward. So we do have enough. You were born enough. Why was I getting ready to put that? Yeah, this kind of feels like you're either somebody is trying to live up to what people or expectations or a bar, a boundary. They're trying to live up to the fast life that they think everybody is living. And it's like, little do you know, everybody isn't living that. It's giving very false pretenses here. You're trying to go out here and present yourself in a certain way because that's the bar or the standard you feel like everybody is holding yourself to. Meanwhile, you're really hurting yourself and becoming angry at yourself and trying to live up to that. Maybe you're making yourself broke, or maybe you are hurting the true friendships you probably should be having. Maybe you're distancing yourself from your family because you're trying to portray a certain lifestyle or a certain way of living or something like that that you think you should be living when it's really not serving you. It's not suitable for what you need. That's what I'm getting here. Yep, look, repair. And this reads, making amends rather than fun times reveals a relationship's true constitution. This is giving, can I say this? It's giving like early 20s energy. Like you got to be like 26, 27 and younger. Not that you have to be. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But this is kind of giving very young person energy, very young person discovering themselves, very young person maybe trying to fit in, very young person who maybe felt like they didn't have the best role models to look up to, and so they found their role models online, and therefore they're trying to live up to what their role models online life is like. They're trying to live up to that, but maybe you're kind of falling short, or maybe you deep down inside you're like, this is really empty and lonely. I don't like this. This doesn't resonate with me, but you're trying to live up to that. Yeah. And in turn, it's just making you angry because, again, there is a lot of fire. There is a lot of red in this reading. It's a lot of red, burgundy. It's a lot of red, a lot of fire here with this anger. The wands cards here. There's a lot of like, you need to really do what you like and stop doing what you think you like or what people tell you you think you should like. There's a lot of stand up and speak. Stand up. Speak for yourself. Be yourself and stop trying to do everything else. Go back to the drawing board and figure out what it is that you really need to do. That's what this pile seems to give to me. It's giving very young person trying to discover and find their way through the world energy. Meanwhile, your version are trying to start, because I just noticed that you do have ones, a lot of ones here. Go back to the start. Try again. Try again. You are born enough. Stop trying to live up to what somebody told you you needed to be. Or stop listening to those people who are telling you that you are not enough. Or that make you feel like crap. They're not good for you. And quite frankly, they're probably not happy their damn self. So that's why they're putting all of that on you. Because look at here, we have the 3 of spades here, which is pretty much like the 3 of swords. So that's dealing with like heartbreak. But notice it is the blue quartz. This blue quartz on this particular card, I don't know why I think of like Neptune. So like Scorpio energy, very depth, very deep down thoughts, deep down water, go down, like emotionally. It's kind of giving like emotional suppression, dig yourself out of that hole. But do know it says creative expression and peace. You need to find yourself peace. You need to be at peace with yourself. Stop trying to do all this other shit. You also have King of Hearts. You need to become the King of Hearts, King of Cups here. And this says emerald, protection, love, and wisdom. If you haven't heard it lately, Pile 2, you are enough. You are a whole person. You are deserving of love. You are deserving of living in your truth, whether people like it or not. Because let me tell you something, somebody somewhere is always going to find something wrong with what you're doing. So you might as well do what the fuck you love and keep it moving. And then we also have the Eight of Hearts here as well. And this reads Blue Lace Agates. And this is dealing with stability, grounding, and support. You need to find a new support system because the one that you currently have is not serving you and it is at your detriment. 1 second. Oh, yeah, that is. The nephew brought it out. So that is what this is giving to me. This is kind of like step into your truth, step into the whole you, and stop letting other people kind of like influence what you're doing. If you are someone who is on the other side of this and you're kind of maybe you're further along where you feel like you're at the end of your rope, you kind of what's the word? Like you have stuck to this lie for so long and now you just kind of feel like, oh crap, how do I get out of it? You can. It's not too late. It's not too late to change. It's not too late to turn around and be like, oop, I was going the wrong way. Let's try this again. Okay? You do again. There's more red here. So this is dealing with sacral chakra again. Maybe there also is some self-loving, if you get what I'm saying here for you. There is some repression here for you that you kind of need to tap into. Okay, babe? You need to... I kind of almost feel like this is for the Aquarians out there. It is okay for you to live the human experience. You're here, babe. You might as well enjoy it while you're here and stop pushing everybody away and thinking everybody else is strange or they're the aliens. You're the alien and it's okay. Just be you and do what you have to do. Okay? So, I hope you find yourselves power too. I hope you actually listen. I hope you stop living for other people and live for yourself. And I hope those shackles, those chains of judgment, of peer pressure, that you are released from them and you actually step into everything that you need to be. Because yeah, this doesn't seem to be going quite the way you want it to be or that it needs to happen. like, it's time for you to unshackle yourself from that, okay? All right, wishing you luck. All right. So again, that was pile 2 with the rose quartz here. And now I am going to move on to pile 3 once I get through this hiccup because I don't know why that came out. So pile 3 was those who chose the Apache's Tear. Okay, putting you off to the side. And your card. Okay, this is going to be the heavy pile for the night. Y'all ready? Deep breath. Okay, so we have the Devil. Okay, so the Devil card here for me, sometimes this is, the Devil usually sometimes can deal with bad thoughts, bad habits. Think of it sometimes as like the addiction card as well. Sometimes this is just like negative down energy. This is also Capricorn, so it may again be dealing with something where you are very much stuck in the 3D and you are not taking into consideration the whole you. Okay, you're being very physically driven. Sometimes the Devil, I almost kind of get like more so along the lines of like sensual addictions. Again, and it doesn't have to be like body to body kind of like sensuality here. It could be more so of just like you're looking for something that gives you that high, that adrenaline, again, that feeling of euphoria that you lost, that you thought you once had but you no longer have it. So now you're looking for like all these external factors to kind of like give you that adrenaline junkie, that it's kind of, adrenaline junkie energy. You're just kind of looking for something that's going to start your heart, start that happy, ecstatic, exciting energy in you again. And so let's see what else is going to be coming up here for you. We're going to shuffle these cards. Let's see what we get. Let's see. Let's get some clarity and some explanation on why this devil card is coming up here for pile 3. Those who chose the Pashi's tier. Oh, you have a lot of major arcana here. Yep, this is going to be the heavy pile for the night. So, pile 3, you have the devil in the upright, followed by the magician in reverse. And so, usually to me, this speaks of manipulation. It speaks of, I almost want to say like laziness, thwarted plans. Anything else? No. And then we have the world card here, which usually I think of the world card in the upright is usually like the completion of a cycle, things kind of coming to an end and you're able to move on to the next thing. But something here has stopped you from kind of completing that cycle, whether it is your thoughts, your belief, a trap of your own making, those sensual reliefs that you're looking for in everyday life. Something there has stopped you with the world card here. Sometimes the world card can also speak to just kind of like literally your outlook on the world around you. So there could be some things here of like your environment is literally at your detriment and is not helping you right now. Is it kind of helping muck up everything around you. And then we also have, is that the 4? No, it's the 6 of coins here. So usually this is speaking to reciprocity. It is speaking to why don't I want to say equilibrium? It is speaking to like give and take, affinity kind of energy here. Notice it is with like that Libra energy, but it also speaks to Taurus in the moon. And so when I see that, is I think of like just Taurus moons, people who are very hard on themselves, people who are very stubborn, who are, because all of the Taurus I think of, it's like, yes, I like to eat and I like to watch TV. I like my creature comforts, but when that one thing doesn't go the way that I thought it was supposed to be, everything is falling apart. I don't like it. I hate my whole life. Everything needs to change. Life isn't fair. I want to redo. Everything sucks. That's kind of like the energy I get usually when I see Taurus. Just very stubborn. Very eye on the prize, very bullseye. And it's like if they miss it, it's just you got an angry bull rampaging through the streets. Now everybody got to run because he's gonna score you. Okay, that's what the with like Taurus energy gives me. There are some very upset people once things don't happen their way, okay? And now everybody has to pay. Everybody has to have a messed up life. I gotta make hell for everyone, okay? So this is reading a lot of like earthly energy too, might I add, you know, Capricorn and Taurus here. But your underlying cards reads the 7 of Wands. And notice how this man looks very sad that he is having to fight off everybody. And sometimes the 7 of Wands is also like my rumor or gossip card for me. It's kind of like you're trying to keep people off, back it off, like get away. Notice this is Leo and Mars here, so that is a lot of fiery energy. I want things about me and I wanted it to happen the way I wanted it to happen. Like, I'm your leader. I thought I was your leader and you didn't elect me as leader. What the heck? Ooh, well, all the fiery cards are coming up underneath for you all. Queen of Wands. Sorry, that wasn't the one. And then you have I call it the Cave of Wonders card. Your choice, your options, which way you want to go. The choice, the option, the outlook, the dream that you wanted. Come on. And then you also have the Lovers here. Who hurt you? That's what I'm getting for y'all, pile 3. Especially with some Taurian energy, is giving. I spent 10 plus years with this person, and now suddenly they're telling me we're getting a divorce, or they telling me that they never really saw me as marriage material in the first place. It's getting kind of like, sorry to you people out here, it's gonna kind of hit you. It's kind of giving bitter church women. Like, the Bible told me if I was, if I came to church every Sunday, if I cooked, if I cleaned, if I, ironed this man's clothes, if I rubbed his head and scratched his back every night, I would be chosen. I would be the girl. I would be the one that's living the happily ever after. I would have my, 2.5 kids in my nice house and blah, blah, blah. And that's not what it is. That's kind of what it's giving. But let's see if I'm on the right path here, or if this is all just shenanigans here, okay? Sorry for anybody, in advance if I am wrong. Sorry to anybody who caught that stray bullet, all right? I'm sorry. I did not mean it. Yeah, let's see. Ooh, that pride. Pride will be the end of you. It's giving ego death. That's what it's giving. Ooh, self-atonement. It's giving ego death. I'm gonna say this is Alakis or Alosis in Mizrael, 6052. This is giving ego death. Ooh, this is giving ego death. What do they say? Pile 3, I understand why you chose the Apache's tier, why the devil and stuff came up for you. This is just giving very much ego death. To me, it feels like you were, it's kind of like Wolf on Wall Street energy. I did what I needed to do to excel and get ahead, and I don't care what anybody said about me. I was on top, and you can't talk about me because I'm rich and I have money and I'm beautiful and I have the husband and everything else. What you gonna do? But now you're kind of like, you're getting that backhand smack. You're getting that smack to reality, like, up, you're not really as big and bad as you thought. Okay, you just, things was fortunate, it was looking up for you, but because of maybe some of the stuff you was out here doing, karma's coming back around. Okay, is giving ego death, and it might be a very public ego death with this world card here. See here. Ooh. You do have a lot of man in robes in this too. So that could be speaking to a lot of judgment. And look at this. You have forgiveness. Hurt blocks our light. Oh, if that's not a Taurus. Woman supporting woman. Now, I do want to know this was out in the reverse, but turn it upright. Together we can transcend our individual limitations. And then you also have number 42, home. May your body be where a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lives. It sounds like you're gonna have to put that ego down, and maybe you're gonna have to reconnect with somebody you never thought you would, or reach out to somebody you essentially said was dead to you. Or maybe somebody's going to reach out to you, even though they kind of like wrote you off at this time, because you're going through this healing process here. Mizrael, Alices, LOC, I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce that one. It's really giving ego death. You are having to answer for some of the wrongdoings you have done to people. And it's kind of giving like, again, if it don't apply, let it fly. It's kind of giving like middle-aged wife syndrome, where your midlife crisis husband decided to kind of like go off on the deep end. But for the, the better part of your life, you have identified and seen yourself as a caregiver, a mother, a wife, etc., etc., a businesswoman. But now, because of, certain life circumstances that has happened, you are no longer that. And so now your whole identity is changing, because it's like, okay, well, you said you was a housewife. You are no longer a housewife because you're getting ready to be divorced, or you're going through a divorce. Your children are out of the house. You are no longer attached to your husband. He's out rampaging and doing whatever God knows in the streets. It's kind of giving, middle-aged wife, rug, house. You find out your house is being foreclosed on or something kind of energy. And now you're like, everything that I thought about life, that's not it. Okay. And so now you're struggling to figure out who you are, where you want to go. What are you without all of the titles, the glitz and the glams, and the privileges that you used to have in your previous life, and now you're moving forward without those privileges. You're kind of rediscovering who you are without that. Again, if it don't apply, let it fly. But that's the energy is giving. We do have the hope, the opal, okay, which is the 8 of disc here, or 8 of diamonds, in the playing cards, and it reads happiness, faithfulness, and loyalty, but it did come up in reverse. This is giving Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I'm sorry. This is giving Diary of a Mad Black Woman energy. You don't know that movie, count yourself lucky, but I'm sure a couple of people resonate with that story. And then we have hematite, which is grounding, practicality, and courage. All of your cards is coming up in reverse so far. And this is also the Ace of Clubs. Go back to the beginning. Figure out who you are without all the titles, the permissions. Because, as much as we like to think there isn't a privilege in being a married woman, it's very much a privilege being a married woman in a patriarchal society. Again, if it applies, if it don't apply, let that shit fly. But there are certain privileges that comes with being a married woman or a kept woman, being beautiful. There is privileges that come with going to an Ivy League school, or certain privileges staying in certain neighborhoods, and certain privileges based on the color of your skin. Hello? Okay. Certain privileges that comes with, the color of your skin. If you have kids, it's all of those things, the little social or cultural privileges people are given, but you kind of don't think about them as privileges, because it's not like, I don't know, maybe they're like blatant, it's more blatant as others, of like, oh, I went to an Ivy League school, but you went to a community college. It's probably not something as blatant, but there are social and cultural privileges that come with, people of a certain caliber or look. Let's see here what I got for the last one. We have the tourmaline, and all of these cards are coming up in reverse, okay? And this is also King of Spades. So maybe you were somebody who was married to someone, again, because I want to make this, gender neutral, even though I'm saying it's giving bitter woman energy, or, woman in her middle ages. But you could have been attached to somebody who was a very powerful, a very rich, a very suave character here, because again, the King of Spades, I think of all of the things that come with air signs, especially if it's like a Libra. You know, you are very suave. People really like you. You know how to communicate with people. You're very nice. You kind of come off with this persona or this outlook of like you're polished and clean and well kept. You're kind of like what capitalism and like patriarchal societies hold up. It's like the poster person for what a man or a woman should be. But it's coming up in reverse here. So it's just, to me, again, showing that a lot of things have changed and rattled. You are no longer attached to certain privileges and titles that you once had or you were once afforded. And a lot of that has changed for you. And you are going to have to go back to the drawing board and rethink a lot of who are you really when you remove the six-figure bank account. Who are you really when you are no longer living in a suburbia? Who are you really when you are no longer driving that Rolls Royce? Who are you really when your kids, you know, even though you're a parent, your kids really don't have to lean on you anymore. They're grown, they're moving on, they have their own family, they're starting their life. They're not really having to lean on you. Who are you without the children? Who are you now that you no longer hold that job? You are no longer the CEO or COO or whatever. You're no longer the president. Who are you without all of these titles and privileges and such? When all of that is stripped away, who are you? What do you want to be? That's what this kind of pile is giving. And I think that's probably, again, why the Apache's tier called out to you, those of you who picked pile 3. Oh, did y'all hear my elbow? That mug really popped. It's just giving, and you have all of these these like, tap in. You are going back. You are going through not just I'll say a social death because of, again, it feels like there's certain things that you are no longer able to attain or you have anymore because now your whole group is changing. Everything about you is changing because you're going through this ego death. So you're no longer attached to maybe certain individuals, or those certain individuals don't want to be attached to you, or whatever the case may be. A lot of that has changed. Something in your worldview or in your life has happened where you're now having to reevaluate what's important to you, who really matters, who's been there, and who you are really without, again, all of the privileges and titles that has been attached to you previously. Who and what are you now, and who and what do you want to become in the future? So that's what I'm getting for you all, pile 3. Let me know what it looks like when you come out on the other side of that, because I know a couple of us are going to go through this. Again, if this isn't someone who is older, I think this is kind of also along the lines of somebody who is kind of going through their Saturn return. And I think our Saturn returns usually come around between the ages of 27 and 30, I think, for most people. And I think we have another one again when we're like in our 50s or 60s. It's kind of giving Saturn return. Tear it all down and, you know, reevaluate those lessons that you have went through for the past 20 something years, and let's see if you learn from them and who you want to be in this next portion or decade or so of your life before Saturn return comes back around and have you flip back and giving you a life test. Okay, so again, if you're not someone who is older, this kind of reads like Saturn return energy on the other side of this. This is very much what it's giving. And again, I'm going to close this reading out here with pile 3 with the Apache's tier. Wishing you all well. Hopefully you can find yourself out on the other side of this. Hopefully this wasn't kickstarted by something very harsh. Hopefully it was just, you know, you retired and now you're kind of like trying to enjoy your retired life, you know, your retirement. So yeah. Hopefully that's what it is, and it's not something too bad. I hope for most of you, crossing fingers. So with that, yeah, again, wishing you luck. Hopefully you find yourself on the other side of this. Ego death isn't always bad. Sometimes it comes out to be a very beautiful thing as well. So yeah, I'm going to move on to pile 4, the last and final pile. Let's get it. So, for those of you who chose the clear quartz or the Divine Tarot for pile 4. Let's see. I'm going to put this here. 1. If you wanted to know what I'm doing, I'm adding the time sets as I go. The only one I don't have right now is the pick a pile and intro, but I can always go back and add that later. Most people want to know the piles anyway, so I just want to make sure I add those in here because sometimes I have a habit of forgetting. So pile 4, you have the Ace of Wands, and this does come up in reverse. So to me, this is usually dealing with stagnant energy, a lack of creativity, a lack of maybe freedom is the word I want to say. Yeah, more like creativity. And again, it would be amiss of me to not mention, because it is the Ace of Wands and it's sometimes a phallic image, it could be something sensual with this, okay? But let's look into this further and see what this blockage, this holdup is. Let's see what this... Let's see what it is. Okay, so pile 4, you are getting an extra card. Let's see. Well, I think it's actually supposed to be like that. So you have the Ace of Wands followed by the Five of Wands, followed by the Ace of Swords in reverse. All of your like starter cards, the start of something, your mental and your passion is blocked here. What is that? Your kind of like your third eye and sacral chakra or root chakra is kind of blocked here. You also have the Seven of Coins. And if I remember correctly, I think the story with this one is like two, I want to say the Incan or Mayan gods who are fighting over the love of the people kind of thing or something. I want to say that's what it was. But outside of that, the Seven of Coins is sometimes like the things you have worked on. You are working on something. But in this case, because it's coming up in reverse, you have not paid enough time, attention, money, whatever the case may be. You haven't spent enough on it in order for something to be happening here. And then you also have the Queen of Cups in the upright. So this could be mother energy, but it could also be a thing of like you are it could be a situation or a person that you're dealing with who may be very emotionally capable. Yeah, capable is the word I want to use. Capable. They're like, they kind of help you work through kinks, or they're like your safe space to be. But I am concerned that your Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords here is coming up in reverse. Also on top of this, like, are we fighting or are we not? Are we frenemies? What was the underlying cards? There's some back and forth here. Five of Wands. Sorry, Six of Wands. I mean, Six of Coins here, and then the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is usually like the trickery card to me. The Six of Coins is, again, speaking to that reciprocity, give and take. If you care for me now, I'll care for you later. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And then the Five of Cups is, again, crying over spilled milk. You have a whole cow. Go get you some more, but you're crying over the spilled milk. And also the Seven of Swords sometimes speaks to trickery, betrayal. Is that the thing here? Someone betrayed you, pile four. Let's see if I can get some more clarity on this. What's coming up here for you, pile four? Why is yours really a little all over the place to me? I had so many cards fall. Let's see. Let's take note. It's 4 of them. So we have Vihua. I think that's how you pronounce it. New beginnings. But your new beginnings are coming up in reverse. We have despair and suicide. Can I say that? Despair and slip and slide. My bad. We have a dramalist. We have Ilea, success. And then we have Andralphus. I'm butchering these. Unhappy voyages. This one kind of really sticks out to me because the imagery is, supposed to be a demon, but it's with the peacock and the donkey. It's reading very prideful, very stubborn. Again, speaking to that ego. Success. Despair and slip and slide. And then new beginnings. Despair and self-deletion. Okay, let's see. Yours is reading all over the place, pile 4. Of course, you got to make this difficult. And that's probably why you got the clear quartz. You're all over the place. Blasphemy. And fruitless labor came up again. What is this one? The fall of empires. All of these are coming up in reverse, mind you. What happened to you, pile 4? I would say for some of you, this almost feels like maybe somebody who's like left a church. They've turned away from their religion that they followed all their life. It's almost along those lines, but I'm not quite sure if that's exactly what it is. But that's sort of what it feels like. And again, it wouldn't surprise me because remember I said I was mentioned something at the beginning about, I think this card in particular is dealing with 2 Mayan or Incan gods, kind of like fighting for the favor of the people. It's almost giving American Gods energy. Yeah. What is this? You know what? Maybe let me read the other side of these and see. Okay, so prosperity, fertility, and multiplicity. And then we have divine blessings. Divine blessings, multiplicity, and prosperity. Again, going back to the 7 of Cups, it kind of feels like, again, go forth and multiply. Someone, the other side of this is this kind of, this 2 energies that seem to kind of come through for me, or the scenarios. It's either it's like someone who put all of their money in on, like, say it was cryptocurrency or something, but kind of find out it wasn't an actual crypto, it was a scam. And so now you're kind of dealing with that. But the other side of this feels like someone who has walked away from, again, their church, their religion. And they're looking for that guidance again. And look at this, radical honesty. Was it something else that flips over? No. And this to me always, when I see that imagery, it gives wounded warrior for sure. I'll read it in just a second, but I want to see what else is going to come out here for you all, because yours is all over the place. It feels like it's the thing with doing general readings. So radical honesty, to believe in the facade. To believe in the facade, the scam, or this religion that no longer aligns with you is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self-defeat, and self-denial. And then the other card we have is inner life, which is, again, your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Something has become known to you, and it's some kind of lie that has shaped your life. That you have been fed your entire life, and now it's kind of like okay, going back to the religion thing again, someone who has walked away from being Amish, someone who is no longer Jewish, someone who has left Scientology, someone who no longer believe in Mormonism, someone who has become agnostic because they felt like Christianity or Catholicism, I don't know, Catholic beliefs or whatever no longer resonates with you. Somebody did something that made you feel like you had to walk away from the church. This is feeling more spiritual. And I think the reason why this Queen of Cups is coming up here, because I think this was the person who probably made you aware that what you were believing, whether they said it or it was something that happened to them or something that they did that made you kind of like stop and pause and second guess everything, where you're looking at everyone in your whole world differently. I think that's what this Queen of Cups is here for. And that may be why the Five of Wands is here as well. Your belief, your thoughts here, why they're coming up in reverse. You're fighting what you now believe to be true, or what you thought was true, and knowing that you have to leave it all behind, knowing that you have to sacrifice it, knowing that there's something that you have to let go of. That you have to let go of that belief. You have to let go of that faith. You have to, face reality and admit to yourself that you were scammed. This is the energy it's giving. This is my spiritual pile, I would say. This is the spiritual deck, because I keep wanting to say it's like you've walked away from a faith, a church, some kind of belief, whether it's a self-belief or, a faith, a creed, a religion that you believed in that you had to walk away from. Because it just no longer aligns with your worldview or what you see and believe to, or what you believe and see reflected to you in the world around you. And so there's a spiritual journey here happening for you, Pile 4. Let's see. Topaz, love, passion, and purpose. Okay, so I'm going to point out some of these cards that flipped over, because some of these are pretty interesting that you got. And the first and foremost is carnelian. And the reason why this is interesting to me, because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe some religions do make rosaries out of carnelians, especially like the red beadings in rosaries. I believe they use carnelians for that, or at least they used to. I don't know if they do anymore. But this also speaks to creativity, confidence, and passion. Four of Clubs. Then we have the hematite, which is grounding, practicality, and courage. You have the rose quartz, dealing with love, trust, and emotional healing. We also have amber, and the amber always bring up like fiery energy for me, and this speaks to luck, courage, and self-confidence. And then you also have smoky quartz, which reads to letting go, surrender, and grounding. I'm gonna keep all of these out here because that feels very appropriate for you. Powerful, that there is some kind of a spiritual undertaking, awakening happening here for you. Notice that the other cards that's coming up, outside of like these fiery ones, the topaz, the amber, the carnelian, these reddy orange, fiery passion, what ignites, excites you, your beliefs and stuff here. You have the darker cards here, or the things dealing with love, like having to dig deeper and rediscover again who you love and trust, or building a new community around you. But then you have the hematite and the smoky quartz, which is kind of like those things that you used to cling to, no longer grounding you, or kind of like not muddying your vision anymore. It's no longer being those blinders that you have on, because now they have been removed or lifted in some sort of way. So I think it's pretty interesting that you're getting all of these kind of like cards here dealing with like obscure vision or outlook, and now you're kind of like coming out of that and coming forward. So yeah, again, this really feels like spiritual awakening to me. But it also kind of, again, reads on the opposite side of you feeling like you've been scammed or lied to in some sort of way or in some sense. And sometimes it can feel like that, where you're kind of coming out of when you're moving away from something a lie you've been told to believe your whole life. Um, yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's coming up for me. Just wanted to see. No, nothing else really, I think, integral that's coming from the bottom of the deck here. But it, again, this does feels like a spiritual awakening, some kind of change, some kind of switch in faith, belief, creed, whatever the case may be, that's happening for you, Pile 4. And I do wish you luck. I think this, again, the Queen of Cups to me in this reading, because it's coming up in the upright, I think you should lean on whoever this Queen of Cups is. It could be an actual water sign, your Cancers, your Pisces, your Cancers, but it could also just be someone who is like a motherly, feminine energy. Doesn't always have to be a female, but it could be someone who just kind of gives you that warm feeling, and just kind of give you the strength, because maybe they've been through what you've been through, or they have been kind of like the guiding light for you at the end of the tunnel, to kind of like help you through this process, this healing and things like that. And it could just be someone as simple as like your therapist or your coworker, or that close friend you just met at this function, and now your whole life is rocking on this axis. But I think it's this person you should kind of like keep a hold of for a moment, at least in this moment in time, this season of your life, as you go through, as you undertake this change within your belief, your faith right now. So yeah, that's what I'm getting for you, Power 4. Hopefully this has been some guidance, some enlightenment for you. Again, if it's something that does not apply, let it fly. This is a general reading, so there are some things that will resonate, that and some things that won't. So if the shoe fits, okay? So thank you all for joining me in this reading, Pile 4, Pile 3, Pile 2, Pile 1. Thank you all, especially if you are watching to the end. Thank you for joining me, and I'm wishing you all well and good luck. Hopefully you kind of heal through this tough feelings that you're kind of dealing with, because all of these are kind of heavy in some sort of way, and dealing with some very tough topics. So hopefully you're able to maneuver through this and heal through this, and come out on the other side a better and bigger person. So yeah, Again, my name is LotusMaje Divination. Thank you all for joining me. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, selecting it to all so you can see the next time I upload. I may plan something for Saturday, but if not, I will see you all on Tuesday when I normally do my uploads. I try to do Tuesday and Thursday at the least. Now that I'm kind of getting back into this. So with that, I wish you all a good day, night, or evening, wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!